In the beginning, there was nothing. Then the first god of the Aztecs, Ometeotl, created itself out of nothing and was considered the origin of everything that exists. He was the god of duality. In other words, he was simultaneously man and female, positive and negative, creation and destruction. The god Ometeotl allowed two more gods to live. In essence, they were the same as Ometeotl, only there was one man and one woman, as the Ometeotl allowed its dualities to take form. The names of these two gods were Ometecuatli, the man, and Omecihuatl, the woman, and together they were considered the creative couple. They procreated and gave birth to the four Tezcatlipocas: Tezcatlipoca black, Cipetotec red, Quetzalcoatl white, and Huitzilopochtli blue. From there, more than 100 more deities were born, as well as the different parts of the Aztecs' mythical and physical world. Only one of the four Tezcatlipocas kept the name, for he was the eldest in position. This was Tezcatlipoca Black, the North. His name meant smoking mirror, and he was the god of night, of discord, and of jaguars, being that he was born with claws and teeth of such. Second is the god Cipetotec, red, the east. His name meant the skinned lord. He was the god associated with the regeneration of agriculture, spring, and new vegetation. Thirdly is the god Quetzalcoatl, white, the west. He was the feathered serpent who also had a representative human form, or more or less human, in which he sported a beard and hair, the color of the sun. He was the god of the light, of knowledge, and of the wind. Fourthly is the god Huitzilopochtli, blue, the south. His name meant the hummingbird of the south. He was one of the most important deities of the Aztecs, being that he was the god of the sun and war. The Aztecs believed that the god had created 5 worlds and that they were living in the 5th most recent. Sometime after their births, the 4 brothers Tezcatlipocas got together and decided to create a work that would dignify them. Thus, Huitzilopochtli set up a bonfire and created 1 man and 1 woman to live and populate the world. Also, they created the waters, mountains, and animals. Yet there was still one problem. The world was in the dark. There was no sun. In the first sun, or the first world, Quetzalcoatl turned a bonfire into a half-sun. Tezcatlipoca was angry at this and took for himself that half-sun and was turned into a complete sun. However, this sun was too powerful and burned the plants so that the world was a barren wasteland. A unhappy Quetzalcoatl defeated the sun with such a blow that Tezcatlipoca fell to the earth into a lake. Tezcatlipoca resurrected as a jaguar. From there, with an army of jaguars, he consumed all of the human giants that lived in the world of the first sun. In the second sun, or the second world, Quetzalcoatl turned himself into a sun and allowed life to flourish, with the harvest and wild fruits being very abundant. Life was idyllic. That is, until the jaguar Tezcatlipoca climbed all the way up to him and clawed his brother out of the sky. Quetzalcoatl fell to the earth and caused a great wind to unleash its destructive power. That forced the humans to constantly be bent and grab onto anything they could. Due to this, the humans of the second world turned into monkeys. Only 1 pair of humans survived by hiding in the great forest. At the creation of the third sun, there were already more gods, other than the four brothers. One of these gods was Tlaloc, the god of rain and thunder, who provides for the crops. He took the place of Quetzalcoatl as the third sun. The population of this time was very corrupt and did not follow the principles set by the gods. Therefore, Quetzalcoatl ordered the god of fire, Cihuatlecuatli, to kill the people. He obeyed, coming out from a volcano. The people begged the gods to turn them into birds so that they could fly over the hell that was ravaging their world. So the gods took pity and turned some into birds and others into turkeys. They only allowed one pair to survive by living in a cave that was very high off the level ground. For the creation of the fourth sun, Huitzilopochtli ordered Chalchitlicue, the one of the jade or emerald skirt, and the goddess of water, to be the sun of this world. The humans of this world behaved better, but Tezcatlipoca was not satisfied with the world under the sun, Chalchitlicue, so he forced her to kill the people. Hence, it reigned for 52 years. The gods took pity on the suffering people and turned them into fish. During some point, there lived a most terrible creature called Zipactli. Many gods had tried to kill this monster, but had been consumed. The brothers Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl decided that this monster's days were numbered. Tezcatlipoca cut off his foot to bait Zipactli, and once Zipactli was distracted, they attacked. After defeating the beast, Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl each took one of Zipactli's extremities and pulled until it was ripped in half to form the earth and the sky, with its physical characteristics forming different parts of the world. Afterward, man still had to be created, and to do that, they decided to go down to Mictlan, the underworld, to recuperate at least one bone of the ancient giant people. None of the gods wanted to descend to Mictlan, so Quetzalcoatl took it upon himself to traverse the 9 levels to the underworld. Once there, he sought out Mictlantecuhtli, the god of the underworld, for the bones of the deceased giant humans. Mictlantecuhtli granted Quetzalcoatl this, but when he was halfway back out of Mictlan, Mictlantecuhtli changed his mind and demanded that the bone be returned to him. Quetzalcoatl fought and fled to keep his bone. At some point, the bone broke in half, and he could only escape with one piece. Once out of Mictlan, Quetzalcoatl molded the bone into the human figure, using dirt and his own blood. Being that the feathered serpent could not bring back the complete bone, the new humans resulted to be shorter than the giant race that had gone extinct. It was time to form the 5th sun. All the gods came together to discuss who was going to be the sun of this world. Nanahuatzin, the god with boils and sores, and Tecuatzitacatl, the one of the marine snail, offered themselves to be the 5th sun. After they had prepared themselves for some time, the other gods put together a bonfire that they could throw themselves into with the intention of resurrecting as a sun. Tecuatzitacatl cowardly refused to jump into the flames, while Nanahuatzin did so without hesitation. Tecuatzitacatl, who was a very proud god, felt humiliated and jealous of the sickly god and threw himself at the fire. When the 2 suns emerged from the horizon, the other gods agreed that there should not be 2. Hence, they threw a random rabbit to the Tecuatzicatl sun, which turned him into the moon, and so came to be what was the modern world of the Aztecs. The people of this new world were missing one vital food choice: the corn, which was hidden away into the mountains. Several gods had attempted to extract the corn from its hidden location using their divine power, but failed. Quetzalcoatl noticed how the ants traveled up and down the mountain carrying grains of corn. He turned himself into an ant and followed them until he reached his goal, where he harvested a grain, then returned to the people and gifted this to them to start their crops. In reality, outside of the mythical, the Aztecs used to be a small nomadic tribe that was not that significant until they came down from the north and settled in their capital called Tenochtitlan on the lake Texcoco, where they were able to advance in the sciences. According to the Aztecs, they originated from the mythical city of Aztlan, the place of the cranes. In fact, Aztec means the people who came from Aztlan. This plain was a pleasant, luxurious place situated in a great lake that so fascinated the Aztecs that, according to Spaniard chronicles and codices, Moctezuma sent an expedition to find their place of origin. He sent with them gifts of gold, precious rocks, feathers, cacao, vanilla, and cotton for their predecessors. The Aztecs' journey from Aztlan is depicted in the Brittany Codex. Historical and archaeological evidence shows that the migration from Aztlan to Lake Texcoco has basis in reality. This has influenced many Mexican and foreign scientists to seek the actual place, but nothing has been found yet. It could be compared to finding the lost city of Atlantis. The Aztecs left their homeland, Aztlan, in search of the land promised by Huitzilopochtli, who was going to show them a sign to identify the place. The sign was an eagle standing on a cactus and eating a rattlesnake, which appeared on an island in the middle of Lake Texcoco. There, Tenochtitlan was founded. Today, this symbol is used in the Mexican coat of arms and its flag, with a few added details. The actual design was created by Francisco Epens Elguera and has been used since 1968. The golden eagle stands for what is good, and the snake for what is evil, while the bay leaves mean victory. Overall, how the good will always triumph over evil. This is a good example of Mexico's two most significant cultures, the indigenous and European, coming together. The people do not perceive themselves to be one or the other, but a new race in which both identities are perfectly and physically inseparably interlaced with each other. This race is simply Mexican.